What is up, everyone, and welcome back to A&R Gaming. This time we're going to be doing another AFK Arena video going over the top 10 heroes to accompany the new updated top 10 tips video that I just put out at the same time as this one. So make sure to check out both of those. There should be a link popping up in the video right about now for the other one. But let's go ahead and just hop right in. So the first one that I want to talk about is going to be Arden. Now, trying to make these characters in this list basically obtainable. So I'm not going to be going over the Hypogeans and the Celestials with exception to one because she is obtainable. So let's go ahead and just talk about Arden first. Now, he is a character. Let me get him pulled up real quick. There he is. I don't have him evolved right now because I'm past his need, but Arden is a character that is going to be helping out an amazing amount in the early game and mid game and even into the late game a good bit too. Whenever you want to get him up as high as he can get, he's not able to ascend, but that's okay. Because he's a backliner and he has really heavy CC, he's a character that you definitely want to make sure that you utilize. He's going to be falling off a little bit around probably chapter 20-ish or so, but until then, he's an absolute god of a character. You want to have him no matter what. He's very, very important. CC is one of the main things that helps you lock down characters early on in the game and basically up until that chapter 20 point and even beyond that in some cases. So he's always a good character to have in your pocket. Even now, sometimes I kind of wish I still had one leveled up, but I use them for fodder now just because I'm in dire need of it. But yeah, he's going to be the first character that we talk about. So let's go ahead and talk about the next one now, and that is Sabay. Now, Sabay is a character that I talked about in another one of my videos before, and once again, he's indisputably an early game carry of a character. He's one that you want to make sure that you have at all times with you. You level up first, you put all your investments into, because he will carry you through the early game like no one else. Basically until you get into the Shamira territory. But yeah, so you really want to grab him. You're not really going to want to use anyone else from the Maulers, honestly, besides Brutus. Sophia late game does stuff, but Brutus is a good tank. But beyond that, honestly, the Maulers are a terrible faction, and relative to everyone else. So, but this guy will really hold you down for a really long time. So you want to make sure that you get him up first, and he's going to be your initial carry. All right, next we're going to be talking about Athalia. Now, as I said, I wasn't going to do any Celestials, but this one is the exception because you can get her from the store. I'll go ahead and show you in the store where she's at. There we go. She's right over here in the Challenger store. You want to make sure that you get her every single time. If you have already bought someone else in here, you have already messed up, and you want to rectify that as soon as possible. This character is not only amazing at CC because she can dive the backline and she can disrupt any, especially like heavy CC character or any big problem character. She does a ton of damage with her ultimate, and she's just an absolute asset to have. She is the highest tier character that you can possibly have right now, with maybe exception to one, but that's a heavy whale character. So on this one, she's very obtainable because she's in that store, and you want to make sure that you're utilizing her at all costs. Another important thing before I move on to the next one actually is Athalia, because she is Celestial, she can slot in for synergy with a lot of other comps because the Celestial ability is able to basically take the form of another faction as needed to get that bonus. So you want to make sure that you do that. All right, moving on to the next one, and that is going to be Lika. Now, Lika is another character. Make sure that you want to have her on your list over in the tavern, because we go over there real quick. There we go, the wish list. You want to make sure that she's in there because she is one of those characters that is going to be carrying you very hard. If you couple her up with another character that's going to be coming up right after this, Pharrell, the two of them together are an absolute monster. Even without him, she's an amazingly good character. She gives everyone haste at the beginning of the game, and it is invaluable as a hero to have in your lineup, because that will make the difference between a win or a loss in most games. She's good in literally every single mode, and luckily wilders, there's a lot of good wilders out there, so you can couple her up with that synergy very easily, especially with people like Arden and Tassie. So that's the next one. So let's go ahead and talk about Pharrell next, and I'm going to pull him up. There we go. As you can see, I already have him maxed out. This character is absolutely amazing. You want to get him ASAP. He's a monster of a character, and whenever you combine him with Lika and her signature item, it just is a ridiculous amount of damage. So you want to make sure that you have him. He's part of the Graveborns, where it's if you couple with Shamira and maybe Thuran, then you can make some really good combos there with synergy wise, and he is going to be a character that's going to be carrying past Shamira's days even, because Shamira is a really great mid to late game carry, but she falls off at probably around 24-ish, chapter 24-ish or so, and Pharrell's going to carry you the rest of the way. He's undeniably an amazingly good character. You want to try to couple him with Lika, as I said, but he slots in pretty much anywhere. So yeah, he's definitely going to be a character that you want to try to invest in as much as you can whenever he's available from any of the Voyage of Wonders as a selectable character. I would highly recommend doing so. He is a win condition, that is for sure. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the lovely, lovely Tassie. Now, all of these characters, you do want to make sure that they are on your wish list, because they're very, very good. This character is no exception to that, and so Tassie is one of the best CCers in the game. She has an AoE CC that also amplifies damage, so the usefulness for her is very apparent. You can use her in almost any single game that you really need to just lock down the enemy team before they get to a particular ramp point, or you just need to lock down even just a single character, or she works great as a combination with AoE damage with characters like Shamira. And whenever she casts her ult, you always want to cast her ult first, Shamira's ult first, and then Tassie's, because that will amplify the damage that's already started. Otherwise, you begin to waste some of Tassie's amplification time. So yeah, you want to make sure that you couple her with the right champions, but she will slot in basically anywhere. But you can really make some amazing plays if you really combo the hell out of a team. All right, next is going to be Lucius. So right here we have this monster of a character. So he's part of the Lightbringers team, and Lightbringers are an amazingly strong comp. So you have 5 Lightborns. I'm sorry, Lightbringer. I don't know if I said Lightborns this whole time or Lightbringer, but it is Lightbringer. But if you have 5 Lightbringers together, they will absolutely dominate. There's so many strong characters in the Lightbringer faction right now that you cannot go wrong by getting really most of those characters. But Lucius is particularly good because he gives that AoE shield that works wonders. It will save you so much, and he also heals, and he has damage reduction. There's so many good things about him, and especially if he slots in really well with any of the Lightbringers, not only for the obvious synergy, but because you start looking at people like Rowan and stuff like that. You can get his battery going, and you can basically get his ult popping like every 5 seconds. It's absolutely amazing combination. And so yeah, you definitely want to have him. He will help out with the late game and every other mode as well. He's a really good character. He will get knocked out very quickly, depending on positioning, so you have to be really careful with that. But he is for sure a top tier character. All right, next we're going to be talking about Rowan. So Rowan is another monster of a character for the Lightbringers, and basically he's like a battery character. So not only does he kind of have like a little bit of a heal that saves some people from like immediate damage off the bat of being like dove or something like that, but he also has an AoE stun and battery. So basically, like, there's a particular point whenever he starts throwing out coins all over the place, and if an enemy touches it, they're stunned, and if a ally touches it, they get their mana to use their ultimate. So he's a really good character to have right in the center in the back line there in a Lightbringer's comp, or really any other comp as well, but especially in a Lightbringer's comp with Lucius, and just a monster of a combination. He is for sure another S tier character, 100%. And because he slots in specifically with the Lightbringers, it makes him even better, honestly. All right, now also as a kind of like add-on for this, if you can't get Rowan, right, or you're lagging behind, you're not getting them on your wish list pulls, then you want to try to go for Rosaline, who is available in the store as well. So you can always pick her up later on, but she's a really good character. She is a nuke character basically. So she does a lot of things actually. So basically she will heavy hit like single targets. She does big percentage health for that. She also works as a mini battery herself, but it's really meant for specifically one person. But she is an absolute monster of a character. She really holds down the line, her as well as Rowan on the same team. Really trying to, like, you can really focus a specific character that you want to get her ult off a lot. Oops, there we go. Someone like Belinda, usually if you're running a 5-man hero Lightbringer comp, you can really get Belinda going off like crazy, and while also simultaneously having them protected by Lucius if you do have Rowan and Rosaline. So if you can't get Rowan, go ahead and get Rosaline. And even if you can get Rowan, Rosaline is not a bad option in the slightest bit to have in the background as well. All right, next character is going to be Foxx. Now, he is a little more situational, I would say, but once again, he is part of the Lightbringer squad. So he's going to be really strong just based on that, because you will have that built-in synergy. But he is an amazingly good single target CC'er, because he will target a specific person and basically put them in this coffin, which takes them entirely out of the game for a good bit. And then whenever he gets his ult back, they will eventually be released, and or if he dies as well, like whenever the time is up or he dies. But he can recast it again if he does stay alive. So he can really keep someone out of the fight consistently as long as he can stay alive. And it's a really, really powerful tool, especially for some levels, which you will find a lot, where there's one guy in particular that is just causing chaos amongst your team. So he's a really good character to have around. Make sure that you get him. He's not that difficult to get a hold of. Once again, he's also in the store, so you can make sure you take a look there as well. And that is all 10 actually, but I do always like to have a little bonus one for you guys. So another bonus one will be Thoran. Now, Thoran he's a really, really good tank because he has this revive feature, so he can eat a lot of damage, come back alive, and get that aggro back from a particular enemy team. But on top of that, he is the biggest cheese character in this game. And by cheese character, I mean a way to basically kind of like cheat the level. So with him specifically, if you have his signature item up, you are low battery apparently. With him specifically, if you are able to get that signature item up to I believe it starts at 10 whenever you're able to do it, but basically it keeps him immune, and so he can't really die while he's doing his ultimate. And his ultimate is incredibly powerful, so everyone will automatically kind of aggro on top of him, and then whenever he releases his ultimate, he can basically one-shot everyone. He has the chance to one-shot everyone. So the strategy with him is basically have everyone with enough gear to basically get them accessible to the level, but very easily, very quick to die, because you want just him alive. That way he grabs the aggro of everyone crowds him, he goes into his ultimate, and then he wipes out everyone. This takes a lot of RNG. This is not as simple as it sounds, because you will be hitting that retry button a lot. But it is an undeniable way to get past basically almost every single level. So he's my honorable mention of this bit. And there's tons of other really good champions, but these characters I think are the biggest game changers that are also accessible, because you can't get the Hypogeans, you can't get the Celestials from the wish list specifically, and a lot of these characters you can get in the store, or you can target in the wish list that seem to drop, a good bit. So yeah, all of them are very good. If you have these characters, you're able to hold down the fort very well, and progression is going to be so much easier. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much. Once again, make sure that you check out the new top 10 tips video that I just put out, as well as this one. So it should be right under the new video section, and I'll link it once again to the end screen on this one so you guys can check it out. But comment what your favorite champion is in the comment section. Tell me why. There's tons of other good characters. It's a good way for other people to kind of look down and you know, get advice from you guys as well that I've been playing for a good bit. You can add on to my list. And yeah, that's gonna do it from there. So we will see you next time, guys. Game on.